In order to become who you want to be, you have to sacrifice who you are. Of course, I want to be as open and as honest as possible with you guys because there has been some questions about, the changes in my life that have been going on and things that have been happening. And I know a lot of you, or most of you, will probably know what I mean by that. And, I'm not trying to be avoidant with things, but there's definitely a time and a place, and I feel like I'm just not ready probably to talk about the ins and out of everything still at this moment in time, and those kind of core elements of my life. And there's still some things that are part of life that I want to keep private for now. What I will say is though that there's always three sides to every story, so don't believe everything that you hear, don't believe everything that you read, and only believe half of what you see, and that way you'll never be fooled. The next chapter of my life, I think, is a bit of an open road, and part of that road has been through this healing journey that I've been on for the past couple of weeks, which leads me to the next part, which is going to be a trip to LA, which I fly in about 10 days time, or from watching this video, I'm probably maybe flying. So I'm spending 10 days in LA with Hunter. We're going to be doing a bit of a training camp. So hopefully I'm going to be filming maybe 2 YouTube videos there with Hunter training, just being boys, getting massive. Followed by this, I'm also going to be flying to Australia for a couple of weeks on Boxing Day. And I know what you're thinking. What are you going to be prepping for? So I'm going to be sharing that soon. But we've also got some not great news. Fucking weird doing now. Just give me a lot of, so we're now a week after first High Rocks season in Manchester, and they've given me some program, Graham, where I'm like, why are you trying to send me to hell? I think it's supposed to be a 2-hour workout, which is tapering a little bit today, but there's a lot of plyometric stuff like this, which I'm actually enjoying. It's just very different. We've got some running to do. Running's feeling a little bit weird after the race because of the quad. But the other thing I was just talking about is some of the comments on the race day YouTube video about my weight. Like I'm probably 6'2" lying down, 5'11" in actual fact, and 87 kilos. I think a lot of people didn't really believe that I was 87 kilos. I think maybe just the way that I carry my weight is a little bit different to some other athletes and some other people, because I've come from the bodybuilding background. Like a lot of my weight is probably on my shoulders and my biceps and my back, so I hold it a little bit different to maybe someone like Charlie, who's holding his weight a little bit more balanced. So yeah, my goal probably with weight is to either maintain around the same, probably about 192 pounds now, which is a little bit over 87. The goal is probably to stay under 190. So not that I'm going to diet hard, but we'll just train hard. Felt quite good. I ran all those under 330 today, which after doing a bit of strength and pre-exhaustion stuff, felt good. So we'll take that. So we've just got the running, we've got a ski, which we're breaking up into 2-minute ski at 4 seconds quicker than race pace, 1 minute at race pace, 30 seconds above race pace, and then 400-meter run. So I think the important thing to remember this is, even with the race that I've just done, like don't go too hot on the ski air. Set a race pace that's comfortable. It's only the start of the race, so I'm kind of getting used to the paces and then going into the run and practicing that, especially when the quad's kind of flaring up a little bit. Fast pace that. It looked like I was even moving quick, I don't know. No, they don't like to me. It was a good little circuit that. It was 5 dead pulls pro weight, straight into 6 pull-ups, straight into 5 box jump overs times 5, just trying to non-stop run from station to station. Sled pulls probably become one of my worst stations, so I'm trying to incorporate more of that along with burpees for the next race, which I'm going to talk about more in this video because part of the series is the prep for Marseille, but there's going to be a little bit of a spin on that. So we're just about to go
to my friend's gym, who's opening a new gym in Blackburn, have a little look around that and help him build out the actual Hyrox section, what it's going to look like in the gym, which is super cool to be able to be involved with. I think it's probably going to be one of the biggest, hopefully, Hyrox sections in a gym in the UK. He's really going to town with it, so we're going to take a look over that. But I also wanted to mention what happened in the Manchester event with Charlie, the videos that a lot of you guys have left feedback on, which has been awesome, by the way. But I want to go over a few things that I got wrong, and number one was fueling. So I feel I probably ate too much on the day. I felt really heavy with the start of the race when we were setting out the pen, and I feel like I should have ate more the day before and then went more liquids and stuff for the actual race itself. So that's something I'm going to take in mind next time when I'm racing at 8 PM so late on. And this is something I spoke to Mark Dean about as well, which kind of he's implemented. And although sometimes you feel worse after the race for having like liquidy and sugary stuff, I think for the actual race itself it's going to work in my favour. And the other thing that I felt was that I actually felt really anxious just from probably sitting around in Manchester all day, probably going to Manchester too soon. So it's all kind of a learning curve, and I said this to a few people, is don't go into the actual arena too early, because that will definitely build up that anxiety. And definitely do not go into the pen too early, which a lot of people do, which is just sitting in an overwhelm of anxiety. And then the other thing was, I'm obviously also now having to pull out of Marseille, which is the kind of the big news of this video, and that's just because of the injury that I picked up in the Manchester event itself with the quad lock. Could this have been prevented? Maybe, but this is kind of the work that I'm going to be doing for the next event, which I'll tell you guys more about as it comes up, is the quad lock that I keep getting in some events. I'm doing some work now through rehab with my physio to try and, I suppose, get over that. But we're going to go and have a look at the new gym. We're going to take a look around, and I'm going to take you guys with me.
So we're here at Bodytech Blackburn to help build out the brand new Hyrox area, which is going to be this huge space down the middle of the gym. And we're going to be helping to build out one of the biggest and best Hyrox sections in the UK. The plan is to try and create a space which gives gym goers enough space to be able to do the Hyrox movements, such as the burpees, lunges, the farmer's carry, and the track, all around one space, while still having the access to treadmills, which I think is one of the biggest issues when it comes to a lot of gyms around the UK. So this area is going to be specific to Hyrox, so you can get all your training done in one space without having to move lots of kit, and whilst doing it in doubles or singles. This space is going to be home to the biggest gym in Lancashire, so it only makes sense for one of the biggest and best Hyrox areas to be right in the centre point of this gym for all the users to use. We are just into a nice easy zone 2 ride today. Manchester race, just to kind of polish that chapter off. I kind of had a meeting with my coach Graham, and we were kind of chatting about pre-race plan. The pre-race plan was for Charlie to start and finish most stations, although the plan didn't go to plan. I finished the sled and I felt a bit rough after that, and then had a few issues with the quad. The quad wasn't quadding, so we had to change a few bits, and the time changed. And the one thing that we did plan was that we wanted to get a podium. We did get that for age group, so I was happy with that. But now, obviously the plan was to do Marseille Pro solo, but like I've just said in this video, unfortunately I had to pull out. But the one thing with that is that it gives me a bit more time to treat the quad, do some physio, get back into training, and now plan for the next race, which is going to be in Manchester in January. So I'll tell you more about that in the next video. Hopefully next weekend I'm going to be going down to London Hyrox just to watch and catch up with a few people, and we'll take it from there. Thoughts and feelings, lasered in. As always, thanks for watching. Enjoy this face, it ain't going anywhere. Like and sub if you enjoyed the vid. See you in the next one.